This is Satish Nikam from MEP's KBT College of Engineering, Nasik. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the programming model of 8051 microcontroller. In the previous section, we know the block diagram. We know that how the blocks are connected with each other and what is the function of that block. That part we have discussed in the last lecture. But in this, when you have to write down a program, at that time you must know the different blocks. When if that blocks you know, you can write down the program very easily. So, for that purpose, this is a block diagram which is given in the book of Kenneth Ayala. Now, the first part is we have internal ROM. How much internal ROM is there? Total ROM, it is of 4 kilobytes. Now, here the memory locations are from 000 to FFF. If you convert this FFF hex number into decimal, you will get 4095. Means total 4 kilobytes of ROM is there, and the function we have already discussed ki on this memory location, whatever may be the program which you are going to write down for your application, it is supposed to be stored. Next part, the very important thing, that is again RAM. Now, in the previous part we have discussed that in block diagram the RAM is used to store the data temporarily, but here in programming model you have to remember this total RAM which is of 128 byte from 00 to 7F. Again, if you convert this 7F into decimal, definitely you will get 127. 127 is the decimal number from 00 to 127. These are the memory location and 128 bytes are there. Okay. Now, this total RAM again it is get divided into 3 parts. First part is my bank area. There is a memory block which is reserved from the RAM, which we called bank area, and we are having total 4 banks: bank 0, bank 1, bank 2 and bank 3. So, total 4 banks are there, and in every bank we are having 8 registers from R0 to R7. This is from R0 to R7 are the register from bank 0. Same way in bank 1 we are having R0 to R7. In R2 again we are having R0 to R7, and in R register bank 3 also we are having R0 to R7. So, total 4 banks are there. Then the second section of this RAM, it is bit addressable area. Means when you want to store the data in a bit form, there are some applications. Means suppose I have to check whether my wall is open or closed. So, that type of information you are getting in the bit form only, correct. So, that bit if you are getting, either it is 0 or 1, and that I want to store. So, that type of information you can store on the memory location 20 to 2F, and we are going to call it as a bit addressable area. Okay. And the next part from 30 to 7F, this is general purpose area. Here ROM and RAM, these are used to store the data, but there are some registers which are very important, and all the register except one. एक register ऐसा है जिसको address नहीं. I will explain you that. Every register is having some address. Now, if you consider this block, if you consider this block, in this block if you see, this is a register and which is having address E0, and this 8 indicates it is a 8-bit register. This programming model indicates here the name of that register, A register, what is the size of that register, means how many number of bits that register can store, that is given here, it is 8-bit, and E0 is the address of that A register. Same way B register here, this 8-bit register having address F0. Now, what is the function of this A and B register? This A and B registers are in direct contact with the CPU. Means what? Whatever may be the operation, arithmetic operation that you are going to perform, the data is supposed to be present with A and B. Means suppose you have to perform the addition. 2 numbers are there, out of that 1 number should be present in A. This is a requirement. Same way you have to perform the subtraction, the number from which you want to subtract, that number should be present in A. Same way for multiplication, both the bytes are supposed to be in A and B. So, these are the requirements. A is also called as an accumulator. Why accumulator? Whatever may be the result of your arithmetic operation, it is get accumulated in A. Whatever may be the result which we got, it is get stored. It is the result, it is automatically get stored into A. So, we call it as a accumulator. Here these two important resistors are there. Next part, as we are having interrupts, total 5 interrupts are there, and out of that 5, 2 are external and 3 are internal. So, how to use that interrupts? First you have to make it enable, means by default when you start your microcontroller or when your microcontroller it is get started, interrupts will not work directly. You have to make it enable, and for that purpose we are having here one register, that is IE, interrupt enable register, which is of 8-bit register, and remember again it is having address A8. Now suppose there are 5 interrupts, and out of that 5 interrupts, 2 interrupts will get occurred at the same time. So which is supposed to be executed first. So by default they are having some priorities, but we can change the priority. मुझे लगता है कि नहीं, ये अगर दोनों इंटरप्ट एग्जीक्यूट एट अ टाइम आते हैं तो मुझे ये पहले एग्जीक्यूट करना है और ये बाद में एग्जीक्यूट करना है. So that type of priorities you can set, and for that purpose we are having one register, that is IP register. Now there are again next 6 registers. As we have discussed, there are total 2 timers, and both the timers of 16-bit, means what, if you have to count the number of pulses, when you have to generate a time delay, a particular clock pulse which is having some time period and which is supposed to be counted number of times. 1 microsecond is the time period for 1 clock, and I have to generate a delay of 10 microseconds. So I have to count the 10 number of clock pulses. So that type of provision should be there, and for that counting purpose we are having 2 registers for 1 timer. As we discussed, both the timers are of 16-bit. So here you check here TH0 and TL0. These are the 2 registers which are related with timer, and they are actually going to count the number of pulses which are supposed to be applied on it. Same way for the timer 1 we are having TH1 and TL1, timer higher 1 and timer lower 1, the full form, and for timer 0 we are having timer higher 0 and timer lower 0. So this is by combination of these 2 we are having timer 0, and by the combination of these 2 registers we are having timer 1. But there are again different modes for the timer. There are total 4 modes that we will discuss in the again timer section. But here you have to remember there are different modes for the operation of the timer, and to select that particular mode we are having one register, and that one register we call TMOD, mode selection, timer mode selection register. So we called it as a TMOD register. Again, to control the operation of timers we are having again one register, that is TCON register, timer control register. So timer mode register, TMOD register is used to select the different modes of the timer, and TCON register is used to control the operation of a timer. So these total 6 registers are related with my timer and counter block. Okay, next, as we know, our microcontroller 8051 can perform the serial communication. So for that purpose again there are important registers. Suppose I have to send the data serially, so I have to put that data somewhere, then the data can be sent bit by bit. So for that purpose we are having SBUF register, that is buffer register, we can say the serial buffer register. If you want to send the data, you put the data into that SBUF, and bit by bit it is gets sent. And suppose you are going to receive the data, so again you will get the data bit by bit into SBUF. So SBUF is a buffer register when you want to send the data or when you receive the data. But again in serial communication we are having different modes. So to control that mode again we are having one register, that is SCON register, serial control register. So these 2 registers and 1 bit from the PCON register, MSB bit from the PCON register, and total SCON and SBUF, these 2 registers are used for serial communication. Again PCON register, as I told you, the MSB bit is used for the serial communication, but remaining bits are used for the power control register. Means suppose you have to save the power when my operation is not going on and controller is waiting for something, it is supposed to be go into the power down mode and ideal mode. These are the 2 different modes that we will discuss in detail at the time of power control register. So PCON is the register, the full form is power control register. Next one is my PSW. Again this register is very important. PSW, the full form is program status word. Means what? Whatever may be the operation which is going on into a microcontroller, what is the present result that we are getting? We are getting some information. Suppose I perform the addition of 2 bytes. So, in that case, maybe the carry is generated or the carry is not generated. So, according to that, the bit it is supposed to be set or reset. So, for that purpose, we are having one bit here in the PSW register, that is program status word. There are 4 different flags which are supposed to be depend upon the operation of the microcontroller which is supposed to be executed, that is carry, auxiliary carry, overflow and parity. Next is my stack pointer. Stack pointer, see, when we want to store the data temporarily, we can store it into a RAM, but suppose microcontroller wants to store the data temporarily. So, in that case, there is one particular area that we can decide. By default, it is decided, but we can change that area and my microcontroller can use that area for the storing of a data temporarily. So, that area we say stack area. To point out that area, we have some register. We must have some register, and that register is my stack pointer. Next is my program counter. Very important register. This is the only register in 8051 microcontroller which is not having address, and it is a 16-bit register. Now, what is the function of that program counter? Very simple. When I stored the program on the ROM, and one by one the instructions are supposed to be executed. So, program counter is going to point out or is going to tell the microcontroller which instruction is supposed to be executed next. So, this is a very simple function of program counter. When the first when we start the microcontroller, program counter value is 00. So, CPU is going to pick up the data from the memory location 00 and it is going to execute that data. At that time, program counter again is going to point out to the next instruction which is supposed to be executed. So, this is the simple function of program counter which point outs the microcontroller which instruction to be executed next. Same way, there is one again important register, that is data pointer. Means program counter is going to point out ROM, the code memory. Remember, ROM is also called as a code memory because we are going to store the code of our program on the ROM. But suppose I am having some data and that data it is supposed to be pick up. So, that data can be pointed by one register and that register we call a data pointer. Again, this data pointer, it is actually the combination of 2 8-bit register, DPH data pointer higher and DPL data pointer lower. Okay. Now, as we have discussed, we are having 4 ports. Means when we got the data by using that 4 ports, we are having 8 pins for every port. Port 0 is having 8 pin, port 1 is having 8 pin, port 2 is having 8 pin, port 3 is having 8 pin. So, all these 4 ports, when we read the data from that particular port, port 0 suppose, so that data is supposed to be stored somewhere. So, for that purpose we are having latch. It is one type of register which is going to latch the data which we are getting from the port, which we are getting from that particular pins. So, for that purpose we are having port 0 latch having address 80. Same way we are having port 1 latch which is having address 90. Same way port 2 is having latch address A0, port 3 is having latch having address B0. So, port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3, these are the latches. We can latch the data. Also, when we want to send the data on that particular port, if that port is acting as an output port, at that time we have to send the data on that particular port. So, definitely we have to put that data into this register and so that it is get sent on that particular pins. So, these are the 4 latches which we are having here, and this is all about the programming model of 8051 and which is given in the book of Kenneth Ayala. The reference here I have written the book of Kenneth J. Ayala. We conclude here what are the features, correct now? What are the features which we have discussed in the programming model? The first thing is my internal ROM, it is of 4K, 4000 bytes, 4096 exact number. Okay, next RAM 128 byte, but in this lecture I have discussed you this 128 bytes of RAM, it is get divided into 3 parts: bank area, bit addressable area and general purpose area. Next, 4 ports are there, every port it is of 8 bit, so total 32 IO pins are there, and we can use this port as an input port and output port. We are having latches for it. Okay. Next, there are two timers, both the timers are of 16 bit. Then one serial port is there, that is full duplex. Now simplex, half duplex, full duplex, these are the different ways how we can have a serial communication. That part we will discuss in detail when we discuss the serial communication part in the third unit. Next, 8-bit CPU. 8-bit CPU means, as I told you, my 8051, 80, that 8 indicates it is a 8-bit microcontroller which can perform the arithmetic and logical operations on 2 8-bit data. And A and B, these are the two registers are in direct contact with the CPU, and this A register is also called as a accumulator. This is a very important thing that you have to remember. Next is my 16 bits program counter. Now, what is the function of program counter? I have discussed in the programming model. Same way, when you are going to point out the data, so at that for that purpose we are having here the register data pointer. Now, see here I have already written DPTR. These two registers are of 16 bit. Okay. 8-bit status word is there. Now, what is the present situation? By the execution of some arithmetic instruction, whether the carry flag is generated, auxiliary carry is generated, parity flag generated, overflow flag is generated or not, this type of information it is get generated, and that information it is get stored in the PSW register, that is program status word, and which is of again 8 bit. What is the function of that remaining bits? 3 bits, that we will discuss in detail. Okay. Next, again there is a stack pointer. As I told you, there is a stack area which we are going to allot for a microcontroller to store the data temporarily, and that stack area is supposed to be pointed by one register, and that is my stack pointer, which is of again 8 bit. Next, there are some special function register, as I have explained you. For the timer we are having total 6 register, TMOD, TCON, TH0, TL0, TH1, TL1. These total 6 registers which are related with timer block. There are 2 registers which are related with interrupt block, that is IE, interrupt enable register, and IP, interrupt priority register. Then we are having 2 register, SBUF, serial buffer register, and SCON register. These 2 registers are completely related with the serial communication. And next, as I told you, there are total 5 interrupts. 2 interrupts are external and 3 interrupts are internal. So, total 6 interrupts are there, and there is a clock oscillator and a clock circuitry is there, and which is normally we use the frequency, that is 11.0592 megahertz. These are the features of 8051, and this is all about the programming model and features of 8051 microcontroller. In next lecture, we are going to discuss about the pinout diagram of 8051 microcontroller. Thank you.